Now, let's look at this, the legacy tree. I'm not sure anybody really has figured this thing out yet because here's the reality. We've got 2,000 IBOs, and we've probably got about 200 to 300 that have qualified for the legacy tree. If those 2,000 people really understood what this legacy tree meant to them, they would already be qualified in the tree. So it's obvious that we haven't done a very good job of letting people know what's happening, because I see people coming in that have only been in the business for a couple of days now that are coming in because we've been talking about the legacy tree. They're qualifying. And remember, they're going in before a lot of you are on this call tonight. And they're going in way above you. Now, you might say, well, it doesn't really matter. I'll make it up later. No. You don't ever get to make it up, because here's what happens. This is a one-world genealogy. This is so important for you guys to get tonight. When you're looking at this, remember, the only way you enter this legacy tree is based on a timeline. And it's based on when you qualify to go in the tree. So even though you're an IBO and you can make all the money in the world from the VIP club cards, you can make all the money from all the member sales that you create, you can make all the money you want from CV and the IBO teams, you can have all the multiple pay positions, everything else, that's all great. But this we set aside as something special. The legacy tree was designed to really reward those people that have come early to the business. And they should have, to me, because it's like anything, when you're the pioneer, you deserve the biggest reward because you take the biggest risk. And so that's kind of why we've created this legacy tree. So even though the next 2 or 3 years it won't make that big a difference, in basis of 10 or 20 years, it still makes a big difference in what you make. So let's take a look at this to make sure everybody understands. In this example right here, now remember, Jim, we show him at the top of this legacy tree. All right. But it's not based on the fact that Jim was in the business after you or before you. It's based on when he actually qualified. What's it take to qualify? You've got to either have your 20 customers, and you got to be a platinum, and then you have to have 2 people that have done the same thing. You have your 20 customers, or they're gold or platinum. So if you do those 2 things, you're gold or platinum yourself, and you have 2 that are gold or platinum, or you do the 20 customer rule, then you all qualify to be in the legacy tree. Now, the moment that happens, it's time-stamped, and Jim goes in. And then the next person that came in here you saw was Alex, again, time-stamped. That person could right now, Alex could be 20 pay lines down in your organization, but go in before everybody else just because he met that qualification before the people that are above him. Same thing with Jane. She goes in next. Now, remember, look at the way this fills. Again, it's that balanced fill. Number 4 is Bob. Number 5 over here is Tom, because balanced filling. Number 6 is Pam. Number 7 is Amy. And it does the same thing. It keeps doing the same thing, a balanced fill, balanced fill. Now, guys, you got to put this in perspective. Once you're in this legacy tree, and as long as you stay qualified, you never leave it. Now, think about what's going to happen here in the United States right now, just in this next year. I mean, I really think, based on some of the stuff we're seeing, the demographics, and the growth and everything else. Matter of fact, I was talking to John today. We were looking at the amount of, what do you call it, website activity? What is that, John?
Web activity.
Okay.
And thank you, Wendell, for turning this on.
Yeah, that's true. Who turned this on? Was that Wendell?
That was Wendell.
Man, Wendell, you've been getting a lot of kudos. Like I tell you, I'm so right. I got to mention Wendell's name. But Wendell's pretty cool, because I didn't even know this, but it actually shows the amount of activity your website has over all your competition. And guess what? Guess who's number 1 by far over all the other travel companies that are out there right now, including one that's been around forever and doing hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, which is World Ventures. Guess who has more activity? We do, guys. So what does that tell you? Something's going on out there. There's a buzz out there and excitement, because we went from a situation where we weren't even on the charts anywhere as far as activity and on our website, to we're now number 1, of all travel companies. Number 1 already. And it's getting bigger and better every day against all the competition of companies out there. So it's getting pretty exciting. And again, we haven't started. We haven't even started. I'm thinking, how can this be happening? And it's because of what's going on with the VIP club card, guys. We all know it's creating the excitement. Everybody wants to see what is going on here. What are they doing? But look at this legacy tree. I got to get into this. I got to finish this before we get into the VIP club card, because this is so critical to everybody. Once you're in for life, right? Because you qualify. Now, that means that if we put in 300,000 people here in the United States, guess what? They're all falling underneath of you. The moment we open the next country, because remember, this is a one world genealogy in this legacy tree, the moment we open the next country, they start to fall underneath of you. And then the next country, the next country. And the most important thing you have to realize about this legacy tree, it has nothing to do with the size of your organization. This is a crossover tree. This is the reason I created this, is because we realized I couldn't make the outside teams work because it was too complicated. People were confused. It didn't make sense. I'm thinking, well, you know what? It doesn't matter how great I think it is. If people don't understand it, it's not going to work. So that's how I created this legacy tree. I went back and said, how can I create the same effect where you get this crossover? Which means you could have a group of 200 people. That's all you have in your total organization. There could be somebody next to you that has 5,000. But guess what? You could be above them in the legacy tree. And not only that, but those 5,000 the other guy has, which is outside your organization, because of the legacy tree, they can fall into your organization, you get paid on it. So again, what this creates is the attrition buster effect. Who would ever want to leave this? And it creates this thing of, hey, I got in, I worked, I'm early, I'm first, and I get rewarded. And I get rewarded for a lifetime. One world genealogy. This thing doesn't stop. It just continues to grow and grow and grow. I don't care. Every country we go to, the next country has to fall somewhere in this legacy tree. So if those spots are filled, those spots are filled. And it just continues to grow. So that's the legacy tree. And I want to show you, I think, does this next one show any more on the legacy tree or not? No, it doesn't. Okay. All right. So any questions on that before we leave it?
Excitement, not questions.
Okay. Pretty simple, actually.
People are excited.
I mean, guys, the legacy tree is just two by to infinity.
We do have one.
Okay.
From Jen, can you elaborate on the 20 customers for us newbies? Is that related to the VIP cards?
Yeah, it's anybody that becomes a customer. When we say a customer, it's a customer member, not the VIP club cards.
I think she means, like what you were mentioning, having 20 customers instead of being.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The customers have to come from being an actual member, a customer member. Somebody that's an actual, at least takes the silver level, which is $11.95 a month. That's not from the card. The card is just strictly money. So to get your 20 customers, but here's the thing: if you've got out a lot of VIP club cards, you're going to convert. My guess is you're going to convert 10 to 20% that you get the cards in the hands of. They're going to convert to becoming IBOs, and that's the beauty of this. I mean, this is unlike anything I've ever seen before, because most people, when they go out to try to look for people to get them in the business, they can't find them. Here, everybody you talk to wants to talk to you because you're giving them money, and then afterwards they think, well, wow, if I could do that, I can do this. This is simple. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Not only just the money it's going to generate everybody, but as a tool to convert people from being skeptics to say, I'm using the card, to saying, I'm going to become a member, to saying, I want to be an IBO member. And that's exactly what we're seeing occur, which is, again, phenomenal. Yeah, I got to share something here too. Well, I'll come back to this in a second. I want to show you guys something that's also happened in the legacy tree. And by the way, a legacy tree is funded, because nobody asked this, but it's not really there, but it's funded from all the CV that's generated from the VIP club cards and generated from the memberships. 25% of all the CV goes into the legacy tree. Now, you got to put this in perspective too, guys. The legacy tree is always going to be much smaller than the IBO team tree. So think about this. You literally could make more out of the legacy tree than you can make out of your team tree just because you're in here, because, again, it's always going to be the smaller number. I mean, if we've got 100,000, say, in the IBO team tree, my guess will only be about 20,000 or 25,000 in the legacy tree. So what does that mean? That means there's all this money pushed from those people that aren't in a legacy tree into this legacy tree. If you're in it, you get paid on it. And again, it's coming from people outside your organization. It's coming from sales outside your organization, comes in this legacy tree. And to top it all off, because this is important for everybody to know, the top 15 positions in the legacy tree, which is, if you were looking at this, let's say this really was the start of the legacy tree and Jim was number one, okay? Those top 15 positions, which is, 1 and the 2, then the 4, then the 8, okay, are blocked every month. Now, what does that mean? That means that if there's 1 million people in the legacy tree, the top 15 are blocked, and every month we take the top producers from the 1 million other people and we award for 1 month a position in the legacy tree. So can you imagine a guy comes down the road, 6 months from now, a year from now, hey, well, I'm way down the legacy tree, but guess what? He's a producer, he's a builder, and he's out there making things happen. So he qualifies for one of these top 15 spots for a month. Can you imagine what his check's going to be like? On literally hundreds of thousands or maybe millions, and we're talking about millions of VIP club card users. I mean, it's going to be wild what's going to happen in those top 15 spots. And again, that'll happen, but everybody has the opportunity. So no matter where you come in at, if you came in 5 years from now and you're in the country of the Philippines or you're in Germany or wherever you're from, you can still qualify in one of these top 15 spots. So that's the legacy trade.